Hi everyone. Welcome to a very different episode of Listening Sessions. Today we are not going to be listening to music, but we're going to be listening to sounds. The reason this episode came about was that I was traveling on Outer Ring Road in Bangalore, and I suddenly realized, and I was doing this in an auto, and generally I use a cab, and then you don't really hear the noises outside. And when I was traveling in the auto, I suddenly realized that, at that particular point in time, Outer Ring Road was very quiet in the sense that there's a lot of white noise, but there was very less honking and the usual sounds that you associate with traffic. So it was a very different experience. And then I realized that, how much of the sounds that we hear every day do we actually notice and do we actually know what they're like? Um, and then I realized that once you start actively listening, every sound is, magnified, and every sound is much more clearer and crisper um, as you go through the day and you keep noticing them. And I think this is true for noticing anything. It's not just about sound, but for me, it was about sound. So what I went and did was, I took the voice recorder on my phone and went about for a few days recording not random, but everyday sounds that you might hear going through life on an average day, right? It's not like exotic sounds, it's just everyday sounds, and some of them would sound familiar, some of them may seem a bit alien, or some of them may seem like, okay, I've heard it before, but I don't know what exactly it is. Um, for different people, it will be different things. So basically, what I did is I recorded all this and then I cut it and made it into a track. So what I'm gonna do today is just to play the track for you, and I don't think we won't discuss it much. It's this is all there is to it. So I think it'll be interesting to listen, and maybe it'll be interesting for you guys to imagine some of the sounds in your day-to-day life and see whether you have a clear memory of that sound, and if not, maybe the next time you hear that sound, it would be, I mean, you could kind of closely listen to it and kind of internalize what that sound is. So it's just to kind of provoke some thought and provoke some active listening. So this is called Sounds from Everyday Life, which is the name of the episode as well. So here it goes.
its destiny.
This was a very interesting exercise for me, because generally when I'm traveling or when I'm alone, I tend to kind of drift off into thought, and I'm not very present in the current moment. And I think this exercise of actively listening, or it could be, observing visually the things around you, forces you to be present. And I think that's an interesting exercise to go through, where every sensation then seems sharper. So it was a very, very interesting project and exercise for me, and I think it's definitely worth trying out. I mean, for you guys, if you don't already practice that, in which case, you already know what I'm talking about. And I would love to hear from you in terms of what was the experience you had listening to the sounds around you. Were there sounds that you knew, that you didn't know existed before, which you now found out? Are there situations like that? What are the kinds of thoughts that came when you observed these sounds? So any of those aspects, I would love to hear from you about it. Um, so yeah, that was it. I think it was just a kind of detour from the music, but I think this skill is very important to even appreciate music. Um, so yeah, thanks for joining in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a bit thought provoking for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.